My name is Kubeir, in case you didn't already know that, and welcome to this channel. In other news, processing time update which happened, which has created a bit of would I say panic, would I say anxiety. A lot of people are thinking so many different things as to what's going on. Why are the processing timings so, are you really surprised? Were you not already aware that the processing timings have gone up? Were you really shocked to see 27 months processing times? Were you not already aware that this is what was happening? Now, some people are assuming, thinking, and expecting that this is the time that it will take for the applications that are new into the pool, number one, and number two, or the ones who are already into the pool. That is not true entirely. What exactly is happening? And let me take you to the media release that IRCC released with regards to the new 108,000 permanent residents that were finalized in early 2022. So what I'm talking about is, if you remember, on the 31st of January, Sean Fraser had come out and made this media release, made a statement that they are looking to finalize 147,000 people within the first quarter as permanent residents under different immigration programs. Okay, finalizing 147,000 applications is different than welcoming 108,000 people. So when they say welcomed, means these are the number of people. 108,000 were made permanent residents. They were finalized. They could have been inside Canada. They could have landed in Canada. Both options are fine, and the total of this was 108,000. But in the meantime, in the first quarter, they have also made a decision on 147,000 applications or people. And also, these could be spousal sponsorship applications, this could be economic immigration applications, economic programs, so all of this. And as we strive to reduce the application processing times, IRCC remains dedicated to provide meaningful, timely, and transparent information to its clients. So they want to make it transparent. Sometime a few weeks back, Sean Fraser had also mentioned that they would like to make their website more transparent, more accurate in terms of the processing timing, so that people can have a better understanding. Now, how do these processing timings work? First of all, they work on the basis of dynamic processing times. What does dynamic processing times? It basically means that they will take the data available to them for the last in the case of temporary residence applications, visit visas, work permits, etc., it's 8 to 16 weeks. So the data that they have from the last 8 to 16 weeks, that the average of that 80% of those applications that were processed, that will be considered as their processing times moving forward, as to basically give an understanding of this was the historical trend. When it comes to the PR application, they will take data, and it says here most permanent resident applications will now be using dynamic processing times with updated calculations posted weekly. So you will be getting the updates weekly. So you'll be able to check the updates weekly based on data from the previous 6 months. Okay, so there you go. The data that you are now seeing, so now what you're seeing on the IRCC website in terms of the processing data or the time that it will take, is based on what was happening within the last 6 months. So within the last 6 months, if it had taken them nearly 24, 25, 26, 27 months to finalize an application processing, well, that is what is reflecting on the CIC website at this point of time. But we also know within the last 6 months, they have picked up pace. They were finalizing applications faster. Keep in mind, in 2021, majority of the applications that were finalized were basically CEC or inside Canada applicants. Very few number of people were processed who were outside Canada. Provincial nominee program applicants were getting processed, but the numbers are small. So therefore, what you are seeing as 27 months is reflecting that reality, that truth. This does not mean going forward, all applications will continue to be processed the 27-month deadline. Well, we did face a lot of frustration. We have seen a lot of anxiety. We have seen a lot of people getting very upset with the delays, which is quite normal, quite expected. IRCC, over a period of last almost now 2.5 years, had good amount of time to work a better system out. They obviously have not done a brilliant job of it. You know it, I know it, we all know it, and we keep talking about it, we keep tweeting about it, we keep sort of doing whatever we can. But at the end of the day, this is government machinery. There is a lot of red tape, there is a lot of bureaucracy involved, and these wheels turn or churn very slowly, unfortunately. But thankfully, now that we are seeing the processing timings improving. Well, one of the biggest things that they do, and this was a very courageous thing to do, was to halt or pause or the express entry draws. Because of pausing those express entry draws, they were then able to continue clearing the inventory first, so that once they start taking on the new applications, they will be able to come back to the pre-pandemic levels, which are about 6 months on an average. So this is for you to be able to understand that the dynamic processing times for temporary residence applications are 8 to 16 weeks, and for the permanent residence applications are 6 months. So this is what they will be calculating. They will be taking the data from the last historical period available in, as I said, 8 to 16 weeks for TRVs and 6 months for the permanent residence applications. Moving forward, as IRCC has already announced that they have now, what have they done? They have added 500 new staff. They have got $85 million of extra infusion to assist with this processing of backlogs. All of this in combination will in time show you a better processing times. They have also come out and said that they are now achieving faster processing time for spousal sponsorship applications. But there is a bit of a caveat there, and the caveat is that the faster processing times, or rather the standard processing times of 12 months for spousal sponsorship applications is for the newer applications which are now being submitted, which were actually being submitted from towards the end of the last year onwards. Okay, so those applications are seeing faster processing times. The earlier ones, which were already in the backlog, they obviously will have to go through the grind. They are the unfortunate ones. They would have to sort of, it will take its own course of time till they see the processing finally, decisions finally being rendered in their applications. So it's not fair. I agree with. I agree with so many of you who might already be expatiating with this one, and I absolutely agree with the fact that this should have been handled in a better manner. But at the end of the day, it still boils down to the same thing, right? It is what it is. This is what we got, and all we can do is talk about it, comment about it, get upset about it, raise questions, raise it to IRCC whenever and in whichever platform that we can. But thankfully, at least with the new immigration minister, he's more vocal. He communicates. He at least comes out and tells us what's going on, what they're planning, what they're expecting. Okay, so IRCC's updates processing times at this point of time, rather, because it has just been updated, so it will only talk about the past trends. As we move forward, you will see these numbers reducing. You will see it become more, digestible, something which you can gulp down on. At this point of time, obviously, the Canadian experience class is showing 7 months, which is honestly quite accurate. I have seen people receiving their applications being processed faster as well, but 7 months by and large is quite an average. FSW is 27 months, but also considering that FSW draws haven't held from December 2020. So again, this is understandable. Same thing with FST, Federal Skilled Trade categories. Express Entry Provincial Nominee Programs is showing 22 months. Again, this is also understandable because, as I said, there was a big pause once the COVID had hit. The pandemic was absolute on its peak, and they had almost put most of the applications on a total pause because of the travel restrictions. People couldn't come to Canada, so they were not processing those applications. Visa officers were pulled away from all the visa offices. There were hardly anybody in the visa post to handle the application. So with all those things that we have spoken so many times in the past, this is what was happening. As I said, and again, I'm saying that as we move forward week by week, so probably within the next 2 to 4 weeks, you will see the whole processing timings looking slightly better. Family class at this point of time is showing 16 and 19 months. I have seen the faster ones. In my experience, for some of our clients, we have got inside Canada processed within 6 to 8 months. Outside Canada got processed between 8 to 12 months. So I know for a fact that they're processing these applications faster. Temporary residence applications, of course, visit visa applications, as we know that the new portal had been launched and they were processing them much faster. It was taking anywhere between a few days to few weeks. But at this point of time, depending on which country you are applying for your visit visa application, it could take anywhere between 2 to 4 months of processing time at this point. Of course, there are applications which get processed faster. The biggest concern actually, and it is not reflected correctly over here, is the work permit applications. It's the work permit applications are the ones which are now facing the biggest or rather the longest delays at this point of time. They are almost 1.5 years, 14, 16, 18 months, which is ridiculous, to be very honest. There are nearly 100,000 applications in the backlog, and these are spouse open work permits, these are closed work permits, intra-company transfer work permits, under the global skills strategy work permits. All of them have been delayed really, really long. And I know the businesses are suffering in Canada. There are a lot of people who are putting pressure through the political channels as they can. Citizenship Grants is coming to 27 months now. PR cards, a lot of you who are now becoming the new permanent residents of Canada, they will also, give you the same thing, that they have seen processing of PR cards from 3 weeks to almost 3 to 4 months. This is talking about 108 days. We hopefully will see a gradual decrease in those numbers as well. And so, yeah, please do subscribe to the channel. It's nice to see those numbers going up. And if you want to make an appointment, then this is the link. Thank you very much for joining in. I appreciate it. I wish you all the best. Stay safe, take care, and I shall see you next time.